Alright, that was awkward. I'm 5 minutes into the commentary and my laptop decides to go into hibernation. Fantastic. But let's have another go at it and hope that my laptop doesn't die again. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad to finally bring you some Black Ops 2. Hey. As you guys know, that was a sort of fake sort of celebration attempt. Anyway, as you guys know, it was my birthday yesterday and I got Black Ops 2. I also went to the pub and other things, but that I'll save that for another video. Not that exciting, but it's not really relevant for this video. Sorry, I'm drinking Coke. I just got back from school. Anyway, yeah, in this video I sort of want to give you my first impressions. As I said, this game was I only had like an hour game time, and this was my third game playing, so I honestly didn't know what the guns did. Obviously I know the guns shoot, but I didn't know how the guns, what the good guns were, etc, etc. I didn't know what the maps were like. But I still ended up doing pretty well, 22 and 2 I think, or 25, and I think it's 22 and 2 on TDM, which isn't bad for your third game on, I would say. And had a really good time, and I sort of just want to, in this video, give you my first impressions on Black Ops. And for those of you who had watched my previous videos, you know I was quite critical of the Black Ops trailers and the gameplays I was watching. But I have to say, I have sort of, my opinion has been swayed a bit when I've actually got the game. And I must say that although it does feel very different from the original Call of Duty titles, it's still an incredibly enjoyable game. And I sort of want to go through the reasons and go through my first experiences playing the game, which were yesterday. So I went on to create a class. This was when I was waiting for the match to start, and I was completely overwhelmed by like the amount of options and stuff. Literally, I was just like in a panic in between games, trying to work out what was going on. So I do not recommend you go straight into a match as soon as you get the game. I recommend you go on to create a class and barracks and get your bearings and just read through everything a couple of times so you're used to it. Because I was having like a mini panic attack there, and I didn't know what gun did what, and it was all hectic. But despite that, I think the layout looks really good. I think it's very unique. I think the wildcard system is very unique, and it lends itself to the uniqueness of this game. And yeah, I think Treyarch have been quite bold in that I'm readjusting my sitting position. They've been quite bold in making these changes, and you've got to give credit to them. They're not keeping it the same like sort of Modern Warfare 3 did with Mod 2. Because they were very similar, despite what anyone says. They were incredibly similar. And you've got to give it to Treyarch for actually trying something new, putting new stuff into the game, and you know what I've seen so far, it has paid off. So you've got to give them credit for that. In terms of the maps, this one is on hijacked, but in terms of the maps generally, they look really just look like cartoons. And that's not a bad thing. They look really sharp and they look really fun. If you guys remember the map Downpour on COD 4, such a depressing map. I wanted to slit my wrist when I was playing that map. These maps, it's weird how the appearance of a map and the sharpness can change your mindset when you're playing the game, I just feel like having fun when I'm playing this game. I'm not thinking about my KD. I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm just purely there for the enjoyment, and maybe that's sort of the first time playing the game syndrome, whatever you call it, because you're all excited for the new maps, you don't know what's going on. That's some of the pre-game excitement. Maybe that's a bit of that coming through, but anyway. But what I've seen so far is I really like the maps. I really like the layout and how they've been created. So yeah, that's a big plus, I would say. Nothing really much. From what I've heard on the guns, they are incredibly balanced, which is good to hear, especially for the competitive community. And speaking of that, I may actually try and go on game battles and just see how I do competitively. I mean, the last game I properly had to go at competitively, like LANs and tournaments and stuff, was Black Ops 1. So I don't know, I might have a go at that if I get bored of online, but that'll definitely won't be within the month. That'll be much later on in my Black Ops 2 career. But that's really all I have to say. I mean, as I said, I've only played the game for an hour. I really don't have a lot of stuff to talk about. But I just want to say, for the first impressions, I'm really impressed with it. And I will obviously update you as my videos come up. And I will be doing an Improve Your Game series on this. A lot of you like my tips and stuff because of my background. I'm able to give you some pretty decent tips. And from what I've heard, they've really helped out. So I'm happy I can do that. Laptop's having a seizure. It's taking the piss. Anyway, so yeah, into the last minute of the video, and I just want to sort of ask you guys, because I am very new to the game, I want to ask you guys to leave in the comments what is the best gun. You know, for example, Modern Warfare 2 is the UMP. Please tell me sort of what guns I can use and the best perks, because I'm really clueless at the moment as to what to actually use. So with your guidance, I'd really appreciate that, so I can sort of gauge what the good perks are, what the good guns are, etc., etc. But yeah, guys, apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please support me by liking and leaving a comment if that's what you want to do. Obviously, try to answer the questions that I just asked you to answer about 10 seconds ago. That'd really help. Nothing really much to say, except you can expect much more Black Ops 2 videos coming up, and I'll try to give you a bit of variety in the type of game I play, not just TDM, but also some other stuff. Anyway, guys, see you later. Cheers for watching.